Good morning. So, this morning I'm going to speak from Romans 12 because I was just riding, thinking to myself about, like my journey on how I became sober. And I'm going to read Romans 12 first before I get to talking because I'm going to be driving. It say, be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed of this world. But be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good, what is acceptable, perfect of the will of God. Okay? And conformed mean, I should have looked up the definition. But basically God is saying, like, don't be of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So when you're sober, you know how like you have certain thoughts, epiphanies, that aha moment or that discerning moment when you figure something out. If you're not sober from certain things of this world, they'll become like a distraction. And I remember when I first learned that, because I had read that scripture a long time ago and I didn't quite understand 100%, but I was thinking more so on the lines of being sober as far as like not drinking and not smoking and stuff like that. But God is a little deeper than that, because being sober, some things can have you acting drunk. If you being in love, you just idolizing a relationship so heavily that you're not seeing everything else that's going on around you. You could be drunk off of a job, a career, just so career driven that is other things going on around you that you're not paying attention to. So like through my journey of like becoming sober minded, transferring my mind in the way I think and the way I be, I started seeing a lot of stuff that I saw it, but the way I see it now is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, one example is people throwing shots, like saying little slick stuff. And it be people very, 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 very close to you. And you used to hear it, especially like, I just told this example the other day. Like, if I'm drinking with my friends and I'm in a group setting and they throw a shot at me, my drunken mind is going to laugh it off because I'm being silly. I'm not in my right state of mind. And I'm just going to blow it off, or I might throw a shot back and we just going to go back and forth. But when you're sober and you sit in a group setting, the dynamics of that group changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear it different. And they might bring up something that really strike a nerve and you would just be like, oh, I didn't know you really felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't even know you thought about that, like, or that bothered you, or you was jealous of that. So, and then like the other day, I don't really drink, you know what I'm saying? So I had a glass of wine, and it kind of like reminded me of the type of mind frame I used to be in. I was not drunk, don't get me wrong, I was not drunk, but I had that like a feeling, like a nice feeling, and it was like, I want to dance, or I want to be silly or laugh or talk about something too much. That's not me being of a sober mind. That's like me surrendering who I really am and what I really think and how I am to this liquor, basically. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 10 toes down. I'm not operating from my spirit. I'm giving up my I'm giving up my authority over myself, basically. And y'all know what I'm talking about if you ever been drunk before, because you will get in a car with somebody you shouldn't be getting in a car with, and then you wonder why y'all got into an accident. Or you'll go over somebody's house and hang out, and like sober minded, you would never go over that person's house because they into things you just aren't into. Or you will hang out at a bar that is dangerous. Stuff like that. Also, like the renewing of your mind is, like I just said, like how you perceive the situation. One, being a little intoxicated, and the other is being of a sober mind. It's the same situation, but you looking at it in two different ways. Like you interpreting what's going on two different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I've never really been one of those type of people. I'm not gonna say a type of people because that's like mean to say, but I never really liked to drink really. And I was a lightweight, so like if I had a glass of liquor, I didn't like how I felt because I am a control freak. And once I start to feel like I'm losing control and being too free within myself, whether it's me being sloppy, putting my head down, whether it's me dancing too much, and you know, I'm not even like, I'm more reserved, a little shy, you know, like sometimes. But I would never just be out just getting it, you know what I'm saying? You see people be super drunk in the clubs and they just dance the whole night away, and that's fine. But it's just like, if they were sober, would they do it? Then like you being drunk in love. Beyonce made a song about that, drunk in love. When you drunk in love, you do things for somebody else out of love, what you believe and perceive as love at that time, because you drunk, you under a daze, under a spell of love. Would you do it for yourself? Would you do it for your close friends? Would you do it for your mom and dad? You know what I'm saying? I done seen people go out their way and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on somebody, and they parents not even together. You know, like they parents live in a dangerous neighborhood, or their parents' car is broken down. And then you wonder why you have issues with your family, and even though you feel like you don't owe them anything, it still ain't right that you would go do it for somebody that's basically a total stranger because you're in your feelings about somebody, or you have a soul tie to someone. Now, if you married, that's different. I don't know. I ain't want to speak on marriages, but I done seen this in like the early 3-month stages of a relationship. Like somebody just being so gone over somebody and then can't understand why so many things went wrong with that person. Because you gave them all of you and didn't even give to yourself or your children. You could be gone off a career, and when your career is over, you sit down and you realize you missed your whole life. Like you spent so much time, and I'm guilty of this, you spend so much time sacrificing this party, this event, this Christmas or this Thanksgiving or whatever, and then you sit down and realize that those things were just as important as making some money or, you know, striving to put forth. Because when you sit down and you, because I think about the future, so if I'm like 60, 70 years old and I'm sitting down, I'm like, dang, I worked my whole life to give to my children, but where did I give to me? But that's the transferring and the renewing of your mind, because you start to think different, but just don't let it happen to you too late. But that's not even the whole biggest point I wanted to make on here. My bigger point is trusting your intuition. When you're not of a sober mind, you question yourself so much. Are you making the right decision? Are you going to the right school? Are you picking the right career path? Are you dating the right person? And you keep going back and forth in your head so much with that it'll drive you crazy. But if you just sit with yourself and meditate and just chill, you can hear your intuition, which is God speaking to you about a discerning thing. And it's going to make sense. You ever had to go off somewhere because you were just so frustrated and you sat there for a minute? If you went to a hotel room for a weekend and you felt renewed, like, okay, I know what I need to do now. Because you had all these distractions around you that was causing you to be drunk. You was drunk off distractions. And that's really the devil playing with your mind, because he can't attack you physically sometimes. He can't attack you emotionally sometimes. And all these other ways he sends attacks. So he'll attack your mind and make you feel like you're losing it. That's why God wants us to be of sober mind. And also it said that you may prove what is good, So you would know, like I just said, what is good, what is acceptable, because some things aren't acceptable, but we still allow these things to go on. Whether, like our children, for example, your child may be super disrespectful, but because you feel like certain life choices you made caused that child to suffer in some ways, because we are parents and we make mistakes, you feel like you allow this child to talk to you any type of way because they're angry. That's not acceptable. But if you sit with your thoughts and you hear from God, or even get in the Word, it'll let you know that that's not acceptable, because our past transgressions are forgiven. So I'm not going to allow my child to judge me on the choices that I made when I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? And then it said also, because I wrote it down, on what is perfect, and it say will of God. Like I said yesterday, a lot of people don't know what their paths are in life. You're not allowing God to light your path. And it say lean not on your own understanding. So when we lean on our own understanding and everything starts to fall apart and everything starts to go left, and I'm guilty of this. I'm not going to ever speak on something that I never experienced or I'm not still experiencing. But when we lean on our own understanding, we get in the way of what God has for us. You know, we'll get in the way of what He has planned for us. And if you don't speak to God and hear from Him, you really won't know. And a lot of people won't even make time for Him. I'm guilty of that as well. Like like I said earlier, I'm learning to hear from Him even more so without literally having to sit down and read the Word. But that's not the way to go about it. So I'm trying to be more disciplined with reading my Bible every day, being more proactive of that. So every day I'm going to try to read the Word at least 10 minutes a day. And then if God free up more of my time or help me to organize my days better, I'll have more time to spend with Him. And I found clever ways to do that. One of the ways is to listen to the Bible app on my phone in my ears, even when I'm sleeping. You know what I'm saying? So just be of sober mind. And I remember always hearing this thing called, like a saying starve your distractions. Meaning leave them hungry. That club can wait. You know, that party can wait. That business meeting can wait. That friend can wait. That boyfriend, that girlfriend can wait. Sometimes your mom and dad can wait. Because if you are no good, how could you be of good to anyone else? If you can't hear and discern what God is telling you, how you gonna know which way to turn? What path to take? Because we cannot see what's ahead of us. And I know everybody, I don't care who you are, I just believe that everybody wants to know the future. Given opportunity, you might not want to know it all, but everybody wants that gift to know glimpses of the future, so that you can know that you're not making a mistake, so that you can know that you're headed in the right direction that won't be of your demise. So be a sober mind. Turn the music down when you're in the car. Sometimes don't even ride with the music on. Because as I'm making this video, you don't hear anything in the background distracting me. So I can be clear-minded, sober-minded to tell you guys what it is that God wanted me to say. I don't even think the music was on when it hit me to make this video. If it was turned down real low because I wasn't like singing and going on. And if I had been, I would never been able to feel the feeling to make this video or hear from God to make this video. And then as I was writing, I got 2 confirmations that this is what He wanted me to do. But I wouldn't even have saw the confirmations if I was distracted on the phone or something, running my mouth, arguing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Trying to walk and chew bubblegum. So, just read Romans 12. Meditate on that. And be a sober mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't let other people teach you or tell you how to think. I see that happen all the time. I hate that. I hate when people, and I don't like when people don't want to think for themselves. I don't like that. Like, people ask me like, oh, you think I should move to this apartment? I don't know. That's not for me to say. You think I should get my hair done like this? I don't know. That's not for me to choose. You have to have your own mind and be your own person, because God created us all different and gave us all a different narrative of our lives, who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm about to get off this video because I just made the wrong turn and I'm preaching about this. So I feel like me being on here is kind of a distraction while I'm driving, even though I'm going like 25 miles per hour, but you know. So I just pray that you guys have a blessed day. I pray that this word, you know, resonate in your spirit, that you heard me correctly. And I pray that you heard God through me. I'm going to say that. And y'all have a good day. And be sober-minded. All right, I'm getting off of here.